Good morning, everyone. Today we are starting with the new series based upon the understanding of miasm, and it's like the most important topic of homeopathy, and our whole system, our whole pathy depends upon miasms. And since it is the most important topic, I will try to take all the details as much as possible, and take not only what is a miasm but clinical correlation along with the cases, and even we will go with the various theories, various authors who have described miasm. So I want that you all should also have an extensive study if you want a deep understanding, a deep knowledge, and you have to start implying this into your practice deeply. We will be taking each miasm, each series. I don't know how many lectures it will take up, but I will try to give my best, and whatever I can incorporate into it, I'm going to do it. And I expect you all to be very patiently listening, and the most important part is reading and studying equally along with the lectures so that you comprehend it completely. And one more important thing is key, what I was missing is active participation and discussions in the group. Rather than coming up with personal cases, I will tell you all, request you all to come up with general questions, general difficulties which you all are facing in your practice. And those who are not practicing till now, I want that take this as a zeal, and start your practice, even telephonic conversations, or don't inhibit yourself that you don't have a clinic, you don't have a setup. If you have a will, you will definitely start a way. And when there is a will, there is a way, better said. And when you're determined, the whole universe will be there to help you out. Only thing you need is a better guideline. And through these lecture series, I think you are getting a good understanding, a good knowledge. So let's begin to our today's topic. Today I'm going to start with uh, yeah. So this is the second half. We have already completed case taking. We have already completed various concepts regarding case taking and the scientific concept of homeopathy. Now we are going ahead towards miasm. I think you all feel that miasm is the most difficult topic. You all find it because you're not able to imply it into the practice. But through the cases we'll be sharing, I will show you how miasms can be applied, not only at the repertorial level but also at the case taking part, the prescription part, the medicines remedial part. So this series will be an extended series, and the study of miasm is never ending. Sir has given us very good path, and the journey of this miasm begins with the understanding of the human being itself, because miasms and our human body are not two different entities, but they are one and the same thing. It is like a soul in the body or body in the soul. You cannot say soul is before body, because they both work equally to function. So, similarly, your miasms cannot be explained without the understanding of cell, without the understanding of pathology, without the understanding of pathophysiology of the disease. So, if you have to read miasm, if you have to understand miasm, you have to understand the basic concepts of anatomy, the basic concepts of embryology, the basic concepts of physiology, and the pathophysiology of the diseases. So we will begin today with explanation of how the body or the tissue level, how you can explain, how can you explain miasms. So let us begin the journey. And I'm not going to be very fast today. If you have any queries, any doubts, please come up immediately, because this is the most important topic. And even if today you all don't have any queries and doubts, it's really very disappointing sometimes, because we are just sitting in front of the computer, we don't know what is your reaction. And I expect that those who are actively participating with me through and through, at least they come up with queries, they come up with their doubts, and we will really solve it. And due to time difficulties, we might not be having short of time, but we have a group which is made where you can put up your queries and we can solve your doubts. So, cell, definitely Dr. Hahnemann, he was 300 years back now. And when he was doing his practice, at that time, he was a person who was very scientific man and a true visionary. And he also believed in experimentation, but he was a person who is being called as God today, God of homeopathy, not because that he invented homeopathy, but he could feel the pain of the humankind. And when he was practicing in his own days, he found many difficulties, and he was a real true person who accepted that yes, this is my difficulty and I'm not able to overcome. So he would just experiment, and he would believe in discovering new things and exploring new things. And rather than all the difficulties in his practice, he came up with certain disciplines, certain principles, because he never broke his rules. And whatever I have understood through his life and learning is that he was very determined and a true hearted practitioner. Hahnemann faced a lot of controversies in his lifetime. He was debarred uh, from his what I used to say, matlab, from his city also, from his country also, because in those days the era was like ki, some concepts which were put forth by the religious fields or by the churches, you say by the temples, they were just being enforced upon the common persons. And those who raised voice against the common belief system during those days were being kicked off from the society. Similarly, Hahnemann sir also faced such difficulties. You also know a very common example. I'm missing the name of the scientist, but when he came, Galileo, when he first came up that the shape of the earth, and he said that the shape of the earth is not like a disc, which the common church people said. And he came up like, no, it is not a narrow part, but it is circle. And our sun is not revolving, but our earth is revolving around the sun. But the common belief system at that time, the church people, they would not allow any scientific brain to grow. And only people who had that dare to be wise, who had that daring, had that courage to stand for the truth and live their life for their higher purpose of existence, would survive to all the odds and shortcomings of the day. Similarly, Hahnemann sir also faced many difficulties. If you see his readings, if you see his writings, he had his followers called as staff and gross. To him, he wrote his letters that I'm writing certain things, and I know that this is going to be a revolutionary project, and till the time it certainly comes up and stands on truth, you please keep it as a secret. So Staff and Gross were one of the disciples of Hahnemann sir, and even in his days, he knew ki whatever I'm writing today will not be understood by his disciples for years and for generations together. And for he also knew in his organon of medicine, in the introductory parts, chronic diseases, he has written ki the truth what I'm sharing with you all, my disciples will half understand this, because this is something very divine science, and it will take years, because in those time microscope, quantum world, and such scientific advancements were not there, and scientific people were not so easily accepted in the society. They were taken as revolutionary anarchists and were thrown away from the society because they were just hampering the common belief system in those days, and the royal people would just kick them off. Similarly, our great master also faced such odds and difficulties, but still he stood very firmly for the right homeopathy. And you all know the life history of Hahnemann sir, how difficult times he had, but with his reason gifted mind, for his survival and for better existence, he said in his last days that I have not lived in vain. That means his divine soul completed the task of bringing such great homeopathy into this world, and we are blessed that we are the students of Dr. Prafull Vijayakar sir, because it was very difficult in my times. I remember that our organon teacher would also not know what he's teaching, and I'm not shameful of saying all those things, because that was the hardship we were facing. And for us, organon was the most difficult subject. We would not understand a single word, but this person, when he came to our life, he made things so simplified that organon became like a common book to us. We could find the similarity between what we read in pathophysiology, we read in physiology, what we read in medicine. We were finding all those words standing truth even in our organon. And he was a person who highlighted the aphorisms. He showed that homeopathy is a divine science, and how we can help to grow homeopathy. And he was the visionary who took homeopathy from a common field to a mainstream right now. And we all know that this is what this man has done. We didn't dream of whatever visions he had in his life. So he also completed his task. He gave furnishing to Dr. Hahnemann's work, and I think that we are better understanding Hahnemann sir. Otherwise, those words of Hahnemann sir was applicable even for us, that we would have not also understood what he is trying to teach. So, thanks to him, that he simplified everything so scientifically, and I found him in last 10 years when I was with him, that every next lecture, whatever sir would present, sir would come up with new concepts, new scientific application, and he would use all those words which are used in the common science field. And it was for the amaze that all scientific discoveries he would just correlate with homeopathy. So this is just my little attempt to make the task easier for you all. And so this is what we expect, what sir expected from us. The contributions what he made was in the field of embryology, genetics, pathophysiology, Miasm's approach, and Herring's law of cure. So this is where he has showed his whole work, dedication, and he would just apply. So for better understanding of Miasm, I expect you all that you should go and read embryology. You should know how layers are formed. You should know how a cell develops into a human embryo, and embryo develops into a fetus, and then a baby grows. So what are the milestones in the journey? I want you all that you should know this. Then genetics, yes, we are the genetic expression. We are made up of this genetic code, and if you have to understand the GCS, what we say, a genetic constitutional simillimum, you should know what we are made up of. And all patients coming to you have got a certain makeup. They are made up of certain dispositions. So if you have to understand the disposition of the person, you have to understand the genetic predisposition, what he is born with up. Now, pathophysiology part, very commonly when we were in the college days, everyone would like, हाँ ठीक है ना, we are homeopathic doctors, why we need to understand pathology, why we need to understand medicine, ठीक है ना, नोट से पढ़ लेंगे, थोड़ा बहुत टाइम पास हो जाएगा, and we will get good marks. So our study was not knowledge based study, but we were for gaining marks, and we were not with this vision what we are today. And if you have to understand a case, I would request you all that go and read pathophysiology of each and every disease the patient who is coming to you, because pathophysiological correlation will give you the miasmatic correlation and remedy understanding also. An example I will take you, like PCOD. We all know that PCOD is something related to your female genital organs, right? And the issue is with the ovarian part. But what is the whole system which is involved behind this pathophysiology of developing of PCOD? So you must know ki how hirsutism develops. You should know how obesity occurs, and what is the reason behind irregular menses. What is the reason behind amenorrhea? What is the reason behind uh, weight gain, or what is the reason behind infertility in cases of PCOD. But if you don't understand the bridge between the mind and the body, you will fail to select a proper simillimum. And if you don't get a proper simillimum, you will not understand the effectivity, and you will fail that in that case, and you will get discontented that I failed. And even when we were dealing with acutes, we came to know that you have to understand not only the pathophysiology of the disease, but also pathogenicity of the medicine what you are applying. So pathogenicity is also somewhere the pathophysiology of a materia medica aspect also. So before going to miasmatic approach, if you have to work upon for a case, you have to work for the pathophysiology part. You have to understand what tissue is being affected, what stage of the disease the patient has come to you. If he is a diabetic patient, so I will ask you ki, see, diabetes is again a lifestyle disorder. It's a syndrome. Why it is a syndrome? It is not a single symptom disease. You will have various organs, various tissues which are being affected. So a patient coming to you will have different facets in the life. A patient with diabetes is not necessary that he will be psychotic only, he will be syphilitic also, or he is only at the psoric phase. You will have different phases of the disease also. A patient coming to you during pregnancy with increased level of blood sugars, you don't say कि this is not diabetes. Yes, this is diabetes, but this is stress induced diabetes. So how will you apply in that cases? Because it is due to stress, it is a psoric case of diabetes, because since it is increased demand, and therefore the body is increasing the blood sugar. Whereas a person coming to you at the age of 40 and 50 years, and over a period of time he has been adapting, and since years he has been on a stable drug, and he is not having any complications till now. So you understand this person, in such a case you won't be able to get the direct cause or the ailments from. So you have to correlate this psychotic case with the genetic constitutional you need to give. Then you have a syphilitic diabetes coming to you, where you find that there are lot many complications. There are like tissue changes coming up. Irreversible pathology has been developed over a period of time, and the case has come from reversibility to irreversibility. You find that there is diabetic nephropathy, there is diabetic neuropathy. So if you find such cases coming, this is very common to you, and such cases really come to you all. So if you know what miasmatic stage the patient is, what is the pathophysiology right now, what is the tissue affinity right now, the remedy selection will be very common. As you all know, you will never give a psoric remedy to a syphilitic case. You have to find out the syphilitic simillimum, or what we say is the state simillimum at that time, because that disease has advanced and really crossed those borders. Similarly, in case of all our diseases, when we are dealing with the cases, Herring's law becomes one of what we say the radar, the guideline that we are walking towards, or we are heading towards our mission is through the right path, or we are on the wrong path. Because Herring's law will also help you in understanding everything. So this journey of miasm is not only understanding of miasm, but you have to understand each and every aspect. You have to read embryology, you have to read genetics, you have to read Herring's law, you have to study the theory of suppression, you have to study how the pathology has advanced, how each and every cell of your body is functioning. So this is the way, it's the journey which we are beginning today. And I don't know, because it's a never ending task. Any case you come with, every case will have a different approach. So best of luck to you all, and best of luck to me also, that I'm able to complete with this mission. And yes, since we are on this mission of we cannot forget our aphorism number one, which really reminds that we are here not to cure a certain disease, but we are here in the mission to restore the sick to health. So, this aphorism also incorporates everything. It is not only that we are dealing with with a common approach, but we have to find out the PQRS, we have to find out the right simillimum, and all those things should be based upon the cardinal principles of homeopathy, and it should not be based upon empty speculations. We are here going to deal with the embryology, the Herring's law. So Herring's law is nothing but restoring the diseased state of man to healthy state, and this is only possible when you are following the miasmatic theory, when you are following all the cardinal principles. You are going to the path of individualization, you are searching for the right PQRS, and a right simillimum will only lead you to this mission being successful, and it is only possible when you stand very firmly on these tools. So we are not based upon prescribing on the base of some false fallacies or empty speculations, but we are prescribing for the whole man in disease and not the disease in man. So this is the holistic concept of homeopathy, and this holistic concept is what I've explained it many a times, that we are dealing with individualization, and every patient coming to you is a new individual, is a new case. So whenever a new case comes to you, don't get prejudiced that हाँ ये तो डायबिटीज़ है, तो पिछली बार डायबिटिक पेशेंट को मैंने लाइकोपोडियम दिया था, तो इस बार भी डायबिटिक पेशेंट आया है तो ओनली लाइकोपोडियम विल वर्क, या हाइपरलिपिडीमिया है, या मेरा एक्सपीरियंस है कि हाइपरटेंशन में तो विराट्रम तुरंत असर करता है. नो, इफ यू आर डीलिंग विद दिस, देन दिस इज नॉट होम्योपैथी, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज होम एलोपैथी, and you will be called as a mongrel sect in homeopathy, because you are not following the principles. So if you have to treat, you have to follow each and every principle being laid upon. So everything starts with a proper case taking. We have already taken up case taking part in detail, and we have already dealt with the importance of case taking, and how case taking is so important in our practice, that if a proper case taking is not done, you will not arrive to a right simillimum. So there are different tools we have already dealt. So we are treating the man in disease, we have an holistic approach and understand. Now since we know ki human being is a genetic expression, and a human being has evolved through generations and generations, and today what we are seeing is an evolution or a journey of trillions of cells. We are made up of trillions of cells and billions of cells, which are functioning, or which are working unanimously in harmony with each other. And since we are not made up of only a tissue or a cell, but we are made up of a colony of cells which are functioning in harmony to each other, so that we are living for the best, for better understanding. So going ahead, why so many cells are there, and how we have evolved. So every cell is there, and every cell is functioning to its best. All in the trillion cells are functioning together, and they are functioning in harmonious way so that homeostasis is achieved. And what is this homeostasis? Is nothing but keeping the constant parameters inside your body. All your physiological functions are governing inside in a proper way. There is this is for your better growth, better understanding, and better life. And this is only possible when you are, what I should say, key homeostasis we have already dealt. That we have seen the how immaterial body, how we vital force is governing this whole human system, and how this prana which is running inside us is responsible for maintaining a viability and maintaining the higher existences. And we have different various physiological functions in the body which maintain this internal milieu, what we say, and the balances between the external world and the internal world, and this is maintained through the various systems which are there. And as you all know, I don't know how much you are aware, but this homeostasis is not only with the whole system, but each and every cell of the body is under homeostasis. And if you take individual cell as an individual unit, you will find out that each cell has got its own functions, and every cell is trying to maintain its own homeostasis. So this homeostasis is not only applicable to the whole individual, but also to each and individual cell. Because if I will take it ahead, but you will find that every cell, because we are maintaining through the physiological function, so every cell will have its own glucose metabolism, that is whole system developing. Then you have, then excretory waste, every cell will have a waste material which is excretory, excreted out of the body. Every cell has got the potential to generate their own ATPs to generate the energy, and every system is utilizing the oxygen, and every system, every cell is breathing like a single unit. And each and every cell of this body is like the whole world. I will take you to a very beautiful video. I don't know you have seen this.
कितना ही फसाना है, एक धुंध से आना है, एक धुंध में जाना है। ये राह कहाँ से है, ये राह कहाँ तक है, ये राज कोई राही समझा है न जाना है। संसार की हर शय का कितना ही फसाना है, एक धुंध से आना है, एक धुंध में जाना है। एक पल की पलक पर है ठहरी हुई ये दुनिया, एक पल के झपकने तक हर खेल सुहाना है। संसार की हर शय का कितना ही फसाना है, एक धुंध से आना है, एक धुंध में जाना है। क्या जाने कोई किस पर, किस मोड़ पे क्या बीते, इस राह में ऐ राही हर मोड़ बहाना है। संसार की हर शय का इतना ही फसाना है, एक धुंध से आना है, एक धुंध में जाना है। ला 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 हम लोग खिलौने हैं एक ऐसे खिलाड़ी के, हम लोग खिलौने हैं एक ऐसे खिलाड़ी के, जिसको अभी सदियों तक ये खेल रचाना है। संसार की हर शय का इतना ही फसाना है, एक धुंध से आना है, एक संसार।
Yeah. So what you see is in this video, it's a very beautiful video describing about. It was given in a very different concept, but I just wanted to tell you all that we are a part of this macrocosm, and each and every unit is functioning independently. Similarly, to maintain this homeostasis, our whole body is also functioning in harmony with each other. And when we see that the whole human being, then we have a different unit of every tissue, every cell. So every cell has its own function, and every cell is really working for the fullest. And this trinity of life, the balance between the mind and body, the vital force, is maintained through the governing life force, the vital force what we say. And the balance is maintained only in the healthy stage. And this is not only mind body but also the spirit. And we have already dealt with these components while we were dealing with the case taking, that we are not only the subunit of the tissue cells or the body, that is your pranamaya kosha. And we are not only the emotions residing or the intellect deciding, but we are also a part of your Vijnanamaya kosha and your Manamaya kosha. And every causal body and the whole human being is built up of all the cells, and every cell, every tissue is also having its own energy, his own system of functioning.